Okay, welcome to speech therapy during COVID. Today we're going to be talking about vocabulary and its use within the home, and as well as how we can work on it in the home. Also, just so you know, my videos were a little sparse this week, mostly because with everything changing and school going to be done for the rest of the year, it kind of changed how we're going to be doing everything. So I'm kind of just waiting to hear back on how to do this. I'm going to continue to probably make videos until the end of the school year. I'm probably not going to do one every day. Probably going to do one maybe 3 to 4 times a week. So additionally, I'm having a hard time thinking. I just woke up this morning, you guys. But additionally, I will continue to post resources almost every day, depending on when I get them, for parents that are home with their children and you want something to invest in. There are speech therapy, like articulation apps you could get for your child to practice with, and I can, of course, send you the links and the information for those. I just need to know if you would like them. So also, if you want to continue seeing these videos and you don't want to keep looking them up or waiting for me to send you a link, because sometimes I do send the link later than when I post the video, just because I also am texting parents and I don't want them to get 3 different messages and have the conversation lost within Class Dojo. So there's a lot of factors in why I post my videos when I do. So if you would like some more resources for your child, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to call me on the note that I had sent home, or shoot me an email, sowa@mpsk12.net. Feel free to send an email to me if you have any questions, parents. I'm going to get started on this vocabulary use with these practice cards. But if you would like more resources, please let me know, because I would be happy to send them home. I miss every single one of my students, and I'm hoping that they're having fun at home, but I know it's also really hard having kids home all day long. So what we're going to do is I am going to show a card and tell you what the word is, and I am going to have you think of the definition. So when we're talking about definitions, guys, we remember that giving a definition, we try to say the word. So for example, this one's character. We might say a character means, or a character is someone that is in a story. And it can also be an animal in a story. It doesn't have to be a human. A character could be an animal, a person, and sometimes even a thing, if a thing is alive. So that is the type of answer I'm looking for. If we're just giving the definition, so if I say what's character and they say a person in a story, that is also acceptable, but we'd like to build off of that and get more. Get my coffee going. So I'm going to go through a few of these. Some of these are a little more difficult, and I want this to be something that is not just for my lower ed kids, but also, my 4th and 5th graders, which some of these cards are up there. Mostly these cards are 3rd grade level. So, middle. What does middle mean? So, we can look at the picture, look for those clues. Who's the arrow pointing to? So then here's my definition card. This word means someone or something is in the center. It's in the center. We work on middle when we're working on following directions, correct? So middle. Okay, vocabulary is our next word. Funny thing. What is vocabulary, you guys? What's the girl looking at in this picture? Can we tell? Vocabulary is the words that you know. Vocabulary is words that you should and words that you do know based on their definitions. So, language. Look at all those. What are all those things there? We got sign language, Portuguese, Espanol or Spanish, English. What are languages? It's how people talk to each other, right? How people talk to each other using words or signs. Okie dokie. Ooh, this is a good one. We all should know this one. Capitalize is the word. Capitalize. So let's look at this picture. It says apple, but what's the difference between these two? Capitalize. So when you change a letter from a lowercase to an uppercase, right? Okay. Okay, this one I'm going to let you answer on your own. An author. What is an author? An author. What is an author? What do they do? We talk about authors in SFA. Predict. What is he thinking of? Ooh, I might have given it away a little bit. What is he doing when we predict something when we're reading our books? We sometimes predict. What are we doing? Okay, next one, a question. And this waiter is asking, what would you like to eat? What's a question, you guys? We all know what questions are. I ask them and you ask them. Okay. Got a couple more. Exclamation point. SFA, we have talked about those. What is an exclamation point, you guys? An exclamation point. Okay. Now, some of these are a little messed up. That's not good. What is a question mark? What's a question mark, you guys? I want to hear you define it, or at least say where it goes. Tell me what it's for. I want to hear a definition. And we've talked about these definitions. What is a period in this case? With this right here, what does a period represent? An illustrator. What's an illustrator? Look at what he's doing. What is he doing? An illustrator. This kind of goes with our word author. So if you think about that, that might help you. Fantasy. What is fantasy? Got a mermaid here, right? So what does fantasy mean? And our last one for today, sentence. What is a sentence? And I got one right here, my example. So tell me what it is. Okay, you guys. So a good way to practice a lot of this vocabulary. A lot of this vocabulary is English language arts based. So reading, writing. I do have vocabulary for science as well, and I thought about doing a lesson on science vocabulary as well as math vocabulary because they're all important. We all need them. But Let me grab my book real fast. So, what will a fat cat sit on? So, I love this book. It's a very easy read, but you can use books to practice a lot of these vocabulary words that we talked about today. So here's exclamation points, there's periods, there's questions, so question marks. So you can use those as an example for talking about that vocabulary in any book. A lot of books have multiple types of punctuation, and they of course have sentences. So you can look and ask your child to find the sentence in the book, find the author, and if there's an illustrator, to find the illustrator name that's on the cover. So those are all good skills to practice what we talked about today. So I hope everyone has a great Friday. Happy Friday. The weather should be fantabulous, so get outside for at least 10 minutes today. Have a good one, and I'll see you later. Bye.